4.2. Putting it all together. Tying the practical skills of Course 1 with the mindset skills of Course 2 together for the complete package. In Course 1, The Fundamentals of Wealth, we taught you about the outer game of the money game and the practical doing skills needed to become wealthy. These concepts and skills are essential to learn and for you to be able to apply them into your life to be able to create wealth or a financially stable life. Without knowing how to run a budget, save and invest, and build a portfolio of assets, you won't have the knowledge or know-how to be able to multiply your money. This first course is more of the how of money making and wealth building. Now in the Course 2 that you are doing now, we are teaching you the inner game. This is more of the why of wealth. Here we have taught you the inner game and the thinking and feeling of the money game. It's important to know the how, but without the why behind it, wealth building rarely happens, and any money made is usually lost again. So by now, you should understand why both these halves are equally important, and now we will go on to show you how to tie this inner and outer game together.
So by now, you should know that the inner game is where it all starts. If you don't have a good enough reason to be out of your comfort zone, you're going to give up at the first sign of any hurdles or obstacles. So you have to have a real reason of why you need to be doing this. True wealth building, it all starts with the inner game. That's what we all know, and this is where we're going to start.
So let's start with the inner game. When you start with a big enough why, then your subconscious will go out and find a way and learn all the how skills needed, or find people with the right skills to get what you want. Step 1 is to create your life vision. It's important to have a large life vision first, the big picture one on what you want from life. I know this may seem hard as you haven't had a chance to taste enough life or to work it out yet, but that's okay, as things will change as you progress through life. For now, just a big picture vision is fine. Project yourself in 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years down the track, and think of what life you would like. As a late teen or young adult, you would usually have some dream of what your future would look like. Do you see yourself running your own company, a high-paid professional, living in a house or apartment? Which city? What things would you have liked to have done? What travel? What experiences? And for how long? What skills would you like to have mastered? And what would you do with them? There are several great visualization techniques to do for this exercise, and we will put some links in the downloads to go check out. Otherwise, just find a quiet spot by yourself, turn off the phone, and start dreaming. Step 2 is to look at your goals and put some detail around your near-term goals. You can just write them down or download the worksheets in the lesson and fill them in. After you look far into the future, then you need to start to look at the closer-term dreams and goals and see if your long-term and medium-term and short-term line up. By looking far into the future, then working backwards, your short and mid-term goals become more obvious, as your short-term goals are stepping stones to the longer-term and larger goals. Once you have written some of these down, then set goals for long-term, mid-term, short-term, and put some dates next to them. You should aim for 12 months, 3 years, and 10-year goals for now. Take some time to think about these goals, and if they excite you, that is a good indication that they are the right goals for you. When you write them down, if any don't excite you, then put a big circle around those and think about them a lot more, as they might not be things you actually want. It's so important at a young age to really start to sift out what you want and what culture and people around you want. If you spend years and years of your life chasing something you think you want, but when you get it, it ends up being a very hollow feeling, so this is the time to work out a few of the real goals that you want. You will definitely have lots more, but just focus on the core ones. In the financial realm, you will need to know at least what level of comfort you want, and with the goals that cost money, you will need to know exactly how much they cost. For example, if you want to travel to Europe for a summer and have a house deposit saved as a 3-year goal, then you need to know what this is priced at. Now you have to put a price tag on your 3-year and 12-month goals. This is where you have to formulate a plan on how to get there and see if it lines up with your long-term goals. The biggest trap the young and most people do is to focus only on the short term and hope that the future will take care of itself. It's too hard to think of the future as the present is so busy, so most people don't, and there is no plan to get there. This planning stage is so critical to work out if your short and midterm things you are chasing will help you or hold you back from what you want to achieve your long-term vision. So now you would be thinking of a plan to achieve those goals. What do you have to save to get your first investment property, and how much do you need to borrow? What money do you need to be earning to be able to borrow that amount? All these questions and more have to be researched and answered in this planning phase. What are you willing to sacrifice to have these goals? Great things usually come with some sacrifice, and you have to work out what yours will be to get where you want to go. Most likely, you will have to give up weekends at the beach, some nights at the clubs or partying with friends, binge watching Netflix, or spending hours gaming. But when you look at the goals you have set yourself, the excitement and pull of these should outweigh those sacrifices. Now you know the goals you are after and have a rough roadmap to them. It's time to work out what sort of person you will need to be to get there. What qualities will you need, and what skills will you need? Now we will go apply the outer game that we taught you in Course 1. So now you know what you want after you have filled in your goals. The next step is you will need to work out an action plan and on the skills you will need. Luckily, you just did the Fundamentals of Wealth course with an understanding and insights on many of the skills that you will need. That first course covered the outer game of wealth, and it's what you will need for this part. So for step 1, you need to ask, how will you earn your basic income and cash flow? Will you need a side hustle, or just the one source like a job? Or will you need a side hustle and a job to get the income that you need? Will this side hustle be mainly for cash flow, or do you plan to have this become your main source of income to reach your goals? If it is a job only, then what job will you need to work to learn, not to earn, so you can pick up those skills? What skills do you want to learn? Sales skills, marketing skills, digital marketing, or management skills? Write a list down of what you think will help you get to your goals. If you are currently in a job, what do you need to learn from it? Step 2 is to now think about the savings part of things. On the job income you picked, what type of lifestyle can you live and still have a decent amount of it saved? If it looks like you won't have any saved, then work out if there's any way you can cut back on lifestyle first. Or do you need a successful side hustle to save? This part is where you visit lesson 4.1b and set yourself a proper budget if you haven't done so already. Here you have to price up your current lifestyle and start to know your numbers. What is it costing me to live my current life monthly, quarterly, and yearly? Is my current income covering it, or am I buying things on credit and digging myself in a bigger hole? Just assessing where you are is essential, if a bit painful part of the process before trying to go ahead. Step 3 is now the investing part of the process. From Module 6 in the first course, what type of investments will you invest in? Do you want to own investment property, shares, or invest in your own business? Now you need to do a lot more research into those investments. What type of passive income will it give me? What do I need to borrow? And what do I need to save as a deposit? If I'm borrowing, how much do I need to earn from my job before the banks lend me money? And how much will they lend me? This is where talking to a mortgage broker or your local bank will give you an idea. This section is where you do a lot of your own independent research to determine exactly what it takes to get into the investment. We don't go into any detail of that here, but expand on this in the third course where we walk you through your wealth plan. Once you work out what type of investments you want to get into, then you have to estimate what type of passive income it will build. How much could come from an investment property? How much could come from a side hustle business? Or how much could share investing provide? Also, what are the projected growth rates of these investments? And will they be compounding at the required rates you need? The clue is to look at past performances of these asset classes. And although past performance is not indicative of future performance, it will give you a rough idea for this exercise. Now, how many of these do you need to build to get to your current life? Or how much asset base do you need to build a portfolio that will give you passive income to cover your basic life, then your dream life? Don't know how much your dream life costs? Now you have to price your dream life. What does it look like and how much does it cost? If you don't know, then you need to research more. How much does a 1-month overseas holiday cost? How much for that dream car or to rent that dream apartment? It all needs to go down on a spreadsheet, so you know how much this is and how much more it is from the life you are living now. At this stage, we suggest trying to get your investments to a point that they can cover your current lifestyle before aiming for the dream straight away. When you hit the first milestone, then you can stretch a little. Back to the earning figures now. How much do you need to earn? How much do you need to save? And how long will this take before this gives you your first investment deposit? If it's too long, then there are ways you can save more, invest in other things more, or get more income streams so you can hit the target quicker. There are some things you need to work out, that short-term goal. So by now, you should have a lot of information to put together a rough plan. What does your rough plan look like? Work in a job for 5 to 10 years picking up skills, then go out on your own and then start your own business and grow that as your main investment? Stay in your career field for life but build up investments on the side until your passive income is greater than your day job? At this stage, a rough long-term plan is better than none, and you will be working in the right direction. This plan will change in time, and as you get to learn and experience more and more. In the next course, we go into much greater detail with you to work out this plan. Now lay this out in a rough plan. A good idea is to work backwards, starting with your dream life, then working back to see all the steps you need to get there. Although the longer-term goals 10 to 20 years ahead might be a bit hazy, it's okay at this stage. It's a rough plan. You just want your short-term goals and targets to be pointing in the right direction and the right stepping stones on your pathway. Make sure your inner game matches your outer game. Your short-term goals match your medium-term goals, that match your long-term goals, and they all align. Your plan should be your own, but here we will give you well-trodden pathways to wealth that you use as inspiration for your own path. These are generalized formulas, and there are tweaks that you can use to set up your own path, but these can help provide a framework. The business and investment path. Start in a job for the work to learn phase. Save on the side. Stay in the job. Start side hustle. Save even more and invest. Leave the job when the side hustle starts making more money or shows more potential than the job future. Build your side hustle into a full-time and growing business. Invest the profits of the business into cash flow investments and assets and keep growing these. Eventually sell the business or part of the business and live off the proceeds and investment income from your assets. The lifestyle business path, using your business as the main investment. Start in a job for the work to learn phase. Save on the side. Stay in the job. Start a side hustle. Save even more and invest in the side hustle to grow it. Leave your 9-to-5 job when the side hustle starts making more money, shows more future than job, or has some real momentum moving forward and needs all your time. Build side hustle into a growing and full-time business. Invest the profits of the business back into growing the business and keep it compounding. Grow the business and eventually just oversee the business as a cash flow asset while others run it for you and live off the business profit as passive income. Eventually, either keep 100% of the business or sell down a portion. The employee and investment path. Start in a job to learn phase. Save on the side. Stay in job and work up the career path of job. Save even more and invest in growth assets. Keep saving more and more from the job and investing in income-producing assets and investments. Eventually, when there is enough passive income coming in from the investments, you now have choice. Either stay in the job if you love it, reduce the work to what you want, or change to something you really want to do, as your assets give you the cover to be able to make choices based on what you want.
That's just 3 common formulas as an example. You can take any of these 3 or twist them up in a combination that suits your lifestyle and suits your goals the way that you want. Once you do find the formula that feels right, then you have to match your inner game to your outer game. This means taking your short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals and aligning them so they all match up with the pathway that you've chosen. Once you have your goals, then you'll need to set up your vision board and affirmations. Go back to the lessons on those in this course and make sure you pick ones that support your goals and listen to them and read them aloud every day. In the next course, Your Wealth Plan in 30 Days, we will go into a step-by-step detail of this lesson and walk you through all the details and steps, so you can now walk away with an actionable plan to work on. Thanks for staying with us on the Wealth Mindset course. You now know why the wealth mindset and wealthy habits are so important, and why every wealthy and successful person lives and breathes it. It's just their way of life. So remember to keep incorporating this inner game into your life as you develop your hard wealth skill set. We really look forward to seeing you in the next course and to put your wealth plan together with you.